Hey guys, Jackie here. I'm back with my third part of my review where we'll be talking about Mage. Mage is an interesting one because Mage is one of the strongest classes at the moment in the meta, and there's a lot of variety of mages that are good. You've got like Secret Mage, you've got Freeze Mage, you've got different types of Control Mage, you've got Quest Mage. You could even I've been playing a lot of Kazakus Mage, which I actually think is really good, and I've been doing well with it as well. So Mage has loads of potential stuff you can do with it right now. And the thing that really separates Mage from other classes right now is that Mage just has very good burn. Things like Frostbolts and Silence Balls and Fireballs and Pyroblasts. It has a lot of powerful burn, which a lot of other classes don't have. Even things like Pirate Warrior, which has a load of damage, they can't get through taunts. So yeah, Mage is in a really unique spot compared to other classes at the moment. And the hero card is Frostlich Jaina. 9 mana, you gain 5 armor. Your battle cry summons a 3/6 war elemental. Your elementals have lifesteal this game. And your hero power becomes 2 mana, do 1 damage. If the 1 damage kills an enemy minion, summon a 3/6 war elemental, which is pretty nice. Like, a lot of the time when you're using your hero power as Mage, you are using it to finish off an enemy minion. So if, as well as finishing it off, you get a 3/6 war elemental that will have lifesteal because you've used this hero power. It's really nice. What I like about this is that Mage currently, like Control Mage decks, rely so heavily on Ice Block. Mage doesn't really have that many good defensive cards in terms of like taunts and heals. They've got lots of removal, but they don't have many like taunt and heal. And so this just opens a complete new door for Mage. You could just go for a Mage deck that just plays those elementals and just heals forever with your elementals. Like once you've actually played this, it's going to be pretty hard for you to actually kill the Mage through burn, because they can just heal and heal. Every minion they play is getting lifesteal, which is really insane. And when your opponent trades into lifesteal minions, you also gain health from that. So this card is like, what it's actually doing is really insane. I think even though it's very slow, like it's essentially 9 mana do nothing. However, if you have elementals on the board already, you play this for 9 mana, and then your elementals can heal you, so it is doing some stuff if you already have elementals on the board. The reason why I don't think this card will see much play is purely because Mage currently, like I said earlier, it does stuff that other classes don't do. The freezing your opponent's board and burning them to face is pretty effective. Pretty effective, and something that no other class can really do, and Mage is pretty damn good at it. So I don't think this type of Mage will be better than the current Mages that we see. Blizzard have kind of hinted slightly that they're a bit worried, like Ice Block may eventually move to Wild, we're not sure. And if Ice Block did move to Wild, that would change everything, and then this could suddenly be insane. But without Ice Block moving to Wild, I just see Ice Block Freeze Mage style decks being superior to this. Also, to play this deck, the Frostlich Jaina, you're going to want to be playing a lot of elementals. And so it might almost be more of a mid-rangey deck, because a lot of the elemental minions are very kind of mid-rangey minions, like Servant of Kalamos, Blazecaller, Fireplume Phoenix. They're good cards, but they're not like defensive. They're good for tempo, but they're not like big taunts. Like the only taunt you have is potentially Osrook and Tar Creeper. Obviously, you can play Tolvir Stone Shaper as well, but that's not elemental. And yeah, so even though I think the effect is very powerful, I don't think it will see much play. Yeah. But if Ice Block goes away, that could definitely change. Okay, 1 mana spell, Breath of Sindragosa. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion and freeze it. Okay. So, random, you can compare this to Arcane Blast. Arcane Blast, you would often use it as 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, which is useful. And this is a bit more clunky because it's random, but it also has the benefit of freezing it. So you have to remember that this is going to be very good in the early game. Like in the early game, your opponent's going to have less minions and smaller minions, and so it's going to be easier to dictate what this hits. So using this, like, would you play this in a tempo mage with like mana worms and sorcerer's apprentices? I think the answer would definitely be yes. This could be really nice for gaining early tempo swings, clearing your opponent's minions while keeping your minions alive, and buffing your mana worm. So this is really good in a aggressive tempo mage, I think. Yeah. Obviously, the fact that it's random is going to sometimes be clunky in the mid game, but it's very good early on. Syndragosa, an 8 mana 8/8 legendary dragon. Battlecry, summon 2/0/1 frozen champions. And the 0/1 frozen champions have death rattle, add a legendary to your hand. So the value you can get off of this is insane. This is just a pure value card. Obviously it's a dragon, so could it maybe bring Dragon Mage into the scene? Who knows? Who knows? But I would guess no. I mean, the reason I would guess no is because the only good dragons right now are like Primordial Drake, which Mage doesn't need because Mage has like some of the best AoE in the game. So Primordial Drake is not really needed. You got Flame Strikes, you got Volcanic Potions, you got Blizzards, you got Meteor. You already got so much good AoE in the game in Mage. And the problem with this is it's kind of slow. It is pure value, so you might want to play this in things like Kazakus Mage, potentially. Obviously, if you're playing Dragon Mage, you're probably going to play this. But if you compare this to Medivh, in like Control Mage decks at the moment, Medivh is just so much better than Syndragosa because you get a very similar body, but then you get great tempo afterwards by, you know, creating these big minions you use by playing your big spells. This is very... Like, yes, you get an 8/8, but getting the legendaries off the Frozen Champions are kind of... Like, you're probably going to have to ping off your own minions, which is slightly annoying. Yes, they have Death Rattle, so they could also work with N'Zoth. You could maybe play some, like, N'Zoth Dragon Mage. N'Zoth Dragon Mage. But, yeah, I'd say similar to... Similar to the Death Knight, I really like the card, and the value of it is insane, but I just think current Mage, like, the fact that Mage has just such good burn. I mean, the thing about burn is that it also depends how good Lifesteal becomes. Like, if Lifesteal becomes a really popular mechanic, then Freeze Mage style decks are definitely going to become worse, because there's going to be more heal around the place, and, yeah, more heal around, and yeah, that makes burn style decks worse. So if Lifesteal does become a big thing, then maybe more value type Mage decks could become better, but the burn style could become worse. But yeah, I'd consider putting this in my Kazakus Mage. If you're playing Dragon Mage, yeah, you're going to play this. It is very good value. Yeah, it's okay. It's not insane. Like, because it's so slow, the problem with it is it's so slow. That's the problem. I mean, it's not as slow as like Kabbalah's Tome, because you do get the 8/8 body. But, yeah. Simulacrum. A 3-mana spell, copy the lowest cost minion in your hand. So this card is pretty crazy, actually. It's obviously like, you can do loads of crazy combos with this. So, if you only have one minion in your hand, you can use this on that one minion. If the only minion in your hand is Malygos, you can get another Malygos. You've got like, you could play this in Kazakus Mage. Kazakus Mage, you're gonna play a lot of spells and a few minions. If you have Kazakus, you could easily play all your cheap minions and just have Kazakus as your cheapest minion and get another Kazakus. So I would probably play this in Kazakus Mage. Like, you have to kind of... I like that it's not random. Like, you can set up to copy it. Like, you need to... Obviously, you need to play your small minions first. But then once you've played them, you know what you're going to get this on. So there's also things you can use it with, like people could play Quest Mage with Antonidas and Sorcerer's Apprentices. This can just create you another Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is good. So, yeah. I like this card. Like, I don't think you're going to play... You can get another Yogg. If Yogg is the only card in your hand, you can get another Yogg. This card is pretty crazy. Like, you're not going to be playing in aggro decks. But in a slower combo style Mage decks, this is definitely an interesting card that could be... Like, I think Kazakus Mage is the one I would definitely put this card in. Yeah, Quest Mage, maybe. In Wild, you can get another Emperor. Like, I mean, all my reviews, I'm just talking about Standard, but in Wild, there's loads of other things you can do. I like this card a lot. Cold Ray, 3 mana 3/4, Battle Cry. If an enemy is frozen, draw a card. This card is pretty crazy, actually, because it has obviously a 3 mana 3/4 stat line, which is an okay stat line. Like, it's decent, but you're not just going to play a 3 mana 3/4 on its own, unless you're in a bad spot. Battle Cry, if an enemy is frozen, draw a card. A 3 mana 3/4 draw a card is very good. The problem is obviously the you need to be playing a lot of freeze effects. So you could play this in a deck with the Breath of Sindragosa. You could play like a Tempo Mage. You're going to be playing maybe Water Elementals, Frostbolts, Breath of Sindragosa. With that type of thing, it's really nice. I mean, you could even play this with the 0 mana freezing potion. You probably wouldn't. But I like this card because it's not a card you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put this in every deck. Like, it's not good if you're not getting the draw. You have to be playing a significant amount of freeze effects for this to be worth playing. But if you are playing a lot of freeze effects, it's a good card. Like, I think this is much more likely to see play in aggressive decks than slower decks. You can also use it with Frost Nova, obviously, like Frost Nova, play this, Blizzard, play this. Huh. Glacial Shard. Yeah, I mean, that's what... I like this card because it's not like... It's not... I'm looking at it like... I'm not thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to put this in this deck. I'm not going to put that in this deck. There's not like loads of things I want to play it in. But, yeah, like I said, it can be good in a specific deck. Like, and I think a Tempo Mage with quite a few freeze cards, this could be good in. So, new secret. 3 mana, Frozen Clone. After your opponent plays a minion, add 2 copies of it to your hand. So, it's kind of similar to Duplicate, but instead of your own minion being duplicated, it's your opponent's minion. Which is pretty annoying because you're going to end up getting... Well, you're going to be getting a minion that you're not playing in your deck. Instead of getting something like a Flame Waker or a... I was going to say Sludge Belcher, but Sludge Belcher is obviously a wild card. But what you're actually getting for this is like, it's good value. If your opponent plays 2 Tyrions, you get 2 Tyrions. If your opponent plays 2 Meat Wagons, you get 2 Meat Wagons. But, yeah. Like, I think if you're going to play this, it's more likely to be in a mid-range Secret Mage or a Tempo Secret Mage. Like, you're not going to be playing this in a control deck. But when you're playing against a Mage and they play a Secret, you are always trying to play around Counterspell and Mirror Entity. So you're always trying to play around these spells. So people are going to be trying to play around this. So they're going to be playing weak minions that they don't want you to get. So... the fact that people can play around this means that a lot of the time you're probably going to be getting a fairly weak minion. However, in an aggressive deck, you don't mind getting weak minions as much because you can just use them to fill out your curve and keep like applying the pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised if this you maybe played this as a one-off in like a Secret Mage. Yeah. Glacial Mysteries. 8 mana. Put one of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. This card seems, yeah, not very good. Obviously, if you have every single secret in your deck, and you play this for 8 mana, and you pull every single secret, it's great. Like, without a doubt. But a lot of mage decks, you don't want to play many secrets. Like in control mage decks, you're generally playing ice block, sometimes ice barrier, sometimes counterspell. So if you're playing all of those, that's maximum 3. Plus you got to play 8 mana for this, and it's just not worth it. So like for this to actually fit into a deck, it would have to be like a mid-rangey secret mage with a load of secrets. Like you'd have to be playing a massive variety of secrets, like Spellbender, Counterspell, Mirror Entity, Prisoner Polymorph, the new, what's it called? Frozen Clone. Like, 'cause obviously it has very high potential. Like if you get like 5 secrets from this, it is pretty insane. 8 mana, pull 5 secrets out of your deck. It's good. It's good. But do you really want to be playing all those secrets in your deck in the first place? Like, it's going to be like the most secret-heavy deck ever if you're playing this card. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of a way you can actually use this because it is very clunky. Yeah. Doomed Apprentice, 3 mana 3/2. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more. This card looks underwhelming. A 3 mana 3/2 stat line is bad. The effect, however, is kind of nice. You can use it to help deny your opponent's combos. You could maybe use it in an aggressive mage to protect your board. Like generally, if you're playing an aggressive deck, that's the kind of deck where you're most worried about spells because if you're ahead, your opponent is generally using spells to clear your stuff and get themselves back in the game. And so this can protect your board a little bit. Your opponent wants to consecrate on 4, and then you play this, and then they can't consecrate anymore, which can just win you the game on the spot. So yeah, I think if this is going to be C play, it would be in an aggressive tempo mage. It also depends on the meta. Like if the meta is very spell heavy and there's lots of control decks with lots of spells, this suddenly becomes a pretty good card. However, if the meta is more minion based and there aren't that many spells aren't that popular, then this is not a very good card. Yeah. Ice Walker, 2 mana 1/3 elemental. Your hero power also freezes the target. I'm not overwhelmed by this card. Like you're essentially having to play 4 mana to freeze something. In fact, quite simply, I just don't think this card is very good. Like, yes, it gives you, like, freezes on... Like, having able to freeze a minion is nice. Like, because in Mage, a lot of the time, you do want to stall. Stall to, like, a Flame Strike turn, stall to a Blizzard turn, something like that. So there are situations where this will be useful. But I do think it's just not quite good enough. Like, if this was a 2/3, it would be significantly better. It would be significantly better. But as a 1/3... I can't see it being played. 4 mana 2/6, Ghastly Conjurer. Battlecry, add a mirror image spell to your hand. So people have been talking... Mirror image is the 1 mana spell that summons you 2/0/2 taunts. Some people have been talking about this as a good card in Quest Mage, because obviously the mirror image didn't start in your deck, and so you... yeah, this counts towards the quest. But a 2/6 stat line is not very good. Like you would much prefer this to be a 3/5. The 3 attack being able to trade into 3 health minions is very significant. Obviously, mirror image is good. Like mirror image in a quest mage where all you're trying to really do is you're just trying to stall until you complete the quest, and then you're trying to do loads of stuff in one turn and kill them with the quest. So the mirror image does stall. It is playing taunts. Your opponent's gonna have to clear them, trade into them maybe. But the 2/6 body is not very good. The 2/6, if you play Quest Mage, your 2/6 body is just going to get ignored. So you're against an aggro, say, Murloc Paladin, you play this, and then they just ignore this and hit your face. And you're going to have AoE next turn anyway. Like, a lot of the time in Quest Mage, you're very reliant on having having a Volcanic Potion clear maybe, or having your Nova Doomsayer on turn 5. Sometimes it's just, have Nova Doomsayer on turn 5, or you lose the game. And this card doesn't make a difference whether you have your Nova Doomsayer or not. You can hide your Doomsayer behind the mirror image, so it does have uses, But 4 mana just doesn't feel... Like, you would much rather this be a much weaker body for a lot less mana. Like, playing 4 mana for this is... unpleasant. Yeah. I didn't like this card that much. Okay, that's Mage. So, overall, I don't think Mage will change much. Maybe some kind of tempo Mage could become more popular. With a couple of things like the Breath of Sindragosa... maybe Cold Wraith or Doomed Apprentice. Maybe Flares and Cronin, some Secret Mage. But, yeah. Frostless Jaina obviously allows a whole new type of Mage to be possible. Like, an Elemental Mage. You can maybe even play Kazakus Elemental Mage. Which is really cool. But, I don't think Mage has got that much new insane stuff. Which is probably okay, because Mage is really strong right now. So, yeah. A nice variety of things, though. A nice variety of things. Okay. Well, I look forward to playing them. Catch you in the next review.